Good morning, pretties. I've got a little bit of a different coffee chat planned today, which I'm sure you've already figured out because I'm in my bathroom. Yay! Okay, so we're switching gears today. Big time, actually, because yesterday we talked about tolerations and tackling all the little daily stresses and annoyances that build up in our lives. And thank you guys. We had some awesome feedback on that. I saw one person in the Get Your Pretty on Pretties Facebook group who posted a before and after of her office, and she completely organized it. It was beautiful, and she decided to take the day off work after watching the tolerations video to tackle that one. So congratulations, Tammy. I'm proud of you. If you didn't see that, then you can hop over to the Get Your Pretty on Pretties Facebook group and check it out. But today, we are talking about eyebrows, which I have gotten lots of questions about over the years. I'm going to run you through two different ways that I do my brows today. And again, we're switching gears in this morning's coffee chat. The common thread in all coffee chats is to live your prettiest life. So just keep that in mind. If it seems like we're all over the place, there's definitely a theme here. All right, and today's theme is all about makeup and beauty. So I'm going to be focusing specifically on my brows, showing you two different ways that I do mine. I do my brows as the very last thing when I'm doing my makeup. That's the last thing that I do. Actually, lip gloss or lipstick is the last thing before I walk out the door, but this is the last thing I do in front of my makeup mirror. And my brows have sort of undergone an evolution over the years. In my late 20s, early 30s, I was a over plucker, over waxer. So I had little skinny eyebrows and they were not flattering, trust me, but I think it was the look back then, I'm pretty sure. And I would go to photo shoots when I would do print modeling or acting jobs, and got to work with some amazing makeup artists that way. And they would always do such a good job on my brows and fill them back in and make them look beautiful. And one of the makeup artists told me that I needed to start taking biotin because I had a spot on my left brow that just stopped growing back after so many years of waxing. And I thought it was gone forever. And she said, no, just try biotin, take it. It takes a while, take it for about 3 months and that spot will grow back. Well, it did. So I haven't had any issues with it since then. I'm really careful not to get my brows over waxed. Having said that, I went to get my brows waxed last night, which I do about once a month. I find that that's the best interval for me to keep them cleaned up and the shape nice. And I think she went a little bit too thin on my brows this time. I went to the Good Brow Lady too, so I was a little sad about that. But that's fine. That's what actually prompted today's coffee chat, because I came out of there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to work on my brows a little bit more, but that's okay. So now I do my brows on a daily basis, and I just find that it makes my makeup look complete. I just like the look of a fuller, more natural brow. I do pluck and keep them cleaned up in between waxings. So like every 2 to 3 days, I'll just go through and find any strays that need cleaned up. But the first thing that I do whenever I sit down to do my brows is I take my spoolie and I just brush them up and get my hair out of the way here. For some of you, this may be the only thing you need to do. Brush them, and you may just want to throw a pomade on top to keep them in place for the day. I know there are tons of products out there on the market right now, and I can't speak to a lot of them. I'm going to talk today about a powder and a pencil that I use, that I alternate. But I know that there's some products out there now. One of them is, it creates kind of like a tattoo effect on your brows. And lasts 24 hours. I think it stains the skin underneath. There are so many different, there are like colored pomades and so many different things that you can use. I can't speak to any of those. So if any of you have experience with a product that you're absolutely loving, please post it and let everybody know. I put the links to the products that I'm using today in the description on Facebook, and I'm going to post a photo on Instagram. So if you're watching on Instagram, you'll be able to get the links to the products that I'm using. They're all but from It Cosmetics. I am not a paid spokesperson by any stretch. They do send me free product once in a while. Total disclaimer here, which is how I fall in love with their products. So, I mean, it's a win-win, right? But I am using their products today. And one thing I like about their brow products is they all have biotin already in them. So if you have thinning brows, you know, in the past couple of years, I've noticed mine are starting to thin out on the ends a little bit. These products help your brows to grow in thicker. So anyway, I start with my little spoolie and I brush my brows up just to groom them. And on a normal day, that might be enough for me, but I usually do add a little bit of color and make them a little bit thicker too. So my favorite brow pencil is this Brow Power pencil from IT Cosmetics. It is a universal pencil, meaning you don't have to buy it in any particular color because it changes color depending upon the amount of pressure that you use on it. So if you're pushing really hard on it, then it's going to be darker. If you use a lighter hand, it's going to be lighter. So it works great for all different brow colors. What else do I want to say about this? That I love it, that I've used it for years. This is when I start to run out, I kind of get in a panic because I have to get more. This is the travel size, but they do make a full size too. I think this travel size is 12 bucks. So the first thing I do after I comb my brows up, and I'm going to do my left brow with the pencil and my right brow with the powder, is that I draw the little individual hairs in anywhere that looks a little bit thin. Okay, so this is one of the things that the makeup artist taught me too, is to just kind of take your pencil and draw a line across the top. I know a lot of brow kits contain stencils and you can stencil your brows on. That's perfectly fine. I've never had luck with those. I just freehand my brows and just kind of fill in there on the ends. That's where mine tend to get the thinnest, is on the ends. And then right here at the inner corner, I just kind of flick up because that's the way my natural brow grows. You can see when I brush them up, the little hairs went up right there. Okay, all right, so there we are with the pencil brow. Fill it in just a little bit more right in here. All right. So when you're done with that step, then the spoolie on the other end is meant for blending. So just kind of flick up again, and that helps to blend the lines in. I really like this pencil because it makes it easy to draw in the individual hairs. And there we go. There's the pencil side. Now, if you want to, and I think that the pencil just gives it a really nice natural look. It doesn't look like it's drawn in. If you want to, you can use a little bit of the pomade to keep it in place. All right, and left brow is done. All right, it's right brow's turn. Now the powder is a little bit trickier to work with. I generally use the powder when I have a special event or something where I want a more dramatic brow. I don't do this much for everyday brows. But the process is pretty much the same. I apply the product in the same way. Again, it's a little bit harder to work with just simply because it's not as precise. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Okay, so I just tap a little bit onto this brow pencil, and this is also from IT Cosmetics. It's their brow spoolie and brush combo. Again, you can get any brand that you like. Their brow powder is also universal. This is Universal Transforming Taupe is the color I'm using right now. And then I just go through the same process here. I kind of flick up, and you can see that that one goes on a whole lot darker. And draw along the top edge of the brow to create the outline. This one places a lot more product into the brow, so a little bit goes a long way. It's another thing I love about IT Cosmetics. They always have a little bit goes a long way. So they last forever and ever. Okay. And I noticed that this brow does not match the other one. It got shaped a little differently. You can use the powder in conjunction with the pencil if you'd like to, if you want something just a little bit bolder, if you want to use the pencil for the more precise line and then fill in with the powder, that's also an option. The powder gives it a softer look, and I personally think that powder makes your brows look thicker too because it adheres to all the little individual hairs. Again, this is totally a personal preference thing, whether you like powder or pencil. Leave me a comment and let me know. I'm curious. Okay, so you can see, it's hard to tell on camera, so much easier to see in real life, that the right brow is a little bit darker and more dramatic and more filled in than the left one is. And then when you get all done with that, you can use the spoolie again just to kind of blend everything. And then I like to definitely set the powder with a pomade. And you don't really have to worry too much. This pomade does not remove the powder, which is awesome, but it does help it to stay put. Okay, and that's it. We have left brow and right brow, although I did the opposite, left brow and right brow. Okay, all right, so let me know which one you like better, which one you would use in real life, and your best brow tips. Please share them with us in the comments. I hope you learned something from this video or enjoyed watching it. I'll be back tomorrow for another coffee chat. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.